Concept 6, line and paragraph spacing. Typically when we think about line and paragraph spacing, we're thinking about double spaced. You often hear your teacher say, we want our papers to be double spaced. Well, this is the feature that does it. You look on page 2.41, you'll see a list of some of the different spacing that this uses, such as single, 1.5, double, and a few other ones. It tells us to select the table, including the blank lines above and below it. And this is the one that we were just working with. So we're going to select both the space above and the space below. So you should look like this before you start. And we are going to then open up the line spacing feature, which is in your paragraph group of the home tab. And it looks like lines with arrows pointed above and below. And you'll see that it's set right now at 1.15. We are going to come down and choose line spacing options, which will open up a nice little menu for us. Once this is open, we're going to select single from the spacing, where it says line spacing here. We're going to go from multiple down to single. And then we're going to click down the scroll button after the box to decrease the spacing to 6 points. So where it says spacing after, we're going to click that down to 6 points. Once we've done that, we're going to hit OK. You can see the preview is saying this is going to be smaller than it was before. And you can see that is indeed smaller. One thing to often be aware of is when we go to line spacing, you'll see whether or not it says add space, remove space. Typically, the line spacing by default here is set to 10 points, which can be kind of annoying, and sometimes your teachers will complain that there's too much space in between your paragraphs. You might want to go in and check this and see whether or not it's set at 10 points or at 0. If you are writing a typical paper, I would place this at 0. We're going to then select the list of the 3 tour features. We'll scroll down, we'll find them right here. We're going to select those 3. And we're going to change the line spacing of this down to 1 point. We're going to select the first 2 items, the feature list, and change the spacing after the paragraph to 6 points. So these 2, we're going to change the spacing, going back into line spacing options, down to 6 points. And what this is doing and what it's saying is because each one of these has an enter after it, each one of these are considered their own paragraph. And so it was before adding that space in between each one, which we did not want. The next thing we're going to do is a little bit more formatting. We're going to start formatting some of the items on this new page. And it says click anywhere in the table, which is up here. And we're going to open the highlight button, and that's found up here in your font group. It's the one that kind of looks like a highlighter. It says AB. And we're going to choose turquoise, which is this color right here. And you'll see that my cursor now changes into a highlighter with an eye saying, hey, what do you want to highlight? So I'm going to click, hold my mouse down, and drag, and select this entire table. And let go, and you'll see then it gets the color in which we highlighted. So all of that's been highlighted. It's nice and pretty. Unfortunately, they don't think this looks very good, or maybe they just want you to practice your undo button, but after you've done that, you'll click on the undo button to get rid of it. Instead, we're just going to select the table heading line, just this top line here. And in this line, we are going to bold the items, and we're also going to underline the items. One thing you'll notice is since I had the entire thing selected, all of this got underlined. And so that doesn't necessarily look like what we want. So we're going to undo just that. We're going to leave them bold, but undo the underline. Instead, I'm going to click on the word room, this one right here, and I'm going to open up the underline drop-down menu. And you'll see with underline, it's the only one here that's got a little arrow next to it because there's a lot of different types of underline. And we are going to point to the dotted underline style to see a preview. You can see what it would look like, kind of silly. And it tells us to select several others, and so you can just put your cursor through and look at some of the different ones. And in the end, we're going to end up with double underline. So once you've looked at some of them, go ahead and click on double underline. If necessary, check click on the room reading. So you want to make sure you have this one still clicked on. And we're going to come up to our Format Painter. And this is a wonderful little tool. It's found in our clipboard. And what this does is it allows us to copy formatting. Not words, not text, but rather colors, sizes, underlines, bold, things like that. If I click the Format Painter one time, it will give me a single shot use. If I click it twice, double click real quick, then it turns it on until I turn it off. And wherever your cursor is, that's the formatting it's going to copy when you turn this on. So I'm going to double click. Now it's turned on. And I'm going to go to the other headings like location. And you see just as soon as I click on one of them, it makes sure that it's bolded, it has that double underline. If it was colored and highlighted and everything else, all of those would be copied along with it. Once we've done that, you can either click on the Format Painter again to turn it off, or you can simply hit Escape to turn it off as well. And when you've done that, you should save your document.